whoa, what the? Nana, chill, Nana. What the f are you?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Crazy.
Bro, Nana, no good, Nana. No, bad, Nana. Bad, Akuma.
Nah, you're crazy.
Akuma.
What's good, YouTube? So let's talk about it. So recently, a streamer by the name of Nanatty or Nanatty went viral for calling another black streamer a effing N-word with a hard R on it. Now, listen, man, I've been saying this for years. I've been in Japan for almost 9 years now. Bro, there's Japanese people who are racist. There are Japanese people who don't like black people. And I can't speak for everybody because I don't feel like that's the norm. But there are people here that don't like black people. And I've been saying that for a long time. I know people try to combat that with, oh, no, Japan doesn't know what racism is. There's not enough foreigners here. There's not enough diversity for people here to be racist, man. Listen, there's racist Japanese people. There's racist people everywhere that you go in the world. There are people that don't like other ethnic groups just because of that. Simple. You know, like you can't exclude Japan or any other place. Like there's people here that just may not like a certain demographic or a certain group of people. And it is what it is, you know? Now, this streamer, I watch some of her other content and I'm not gonna lie, she's a little off. I've seen a lot of her content. It's a lot of like shock value content. I've seen videos of her drinking beer and spitting beer on other streamers. She was in Peru and she was being racist in Peru and, you know, degrading like a vendor that was trying to sell her, I don't know, some type of Peruvian, you know, merch or whatever, merchandise. And yeah, she was just being completely disrespectful. I seen her getting into it with the Japanese police, acting crazy, acting just like erratic and telling the police F you in English. So she's just a character, man. I don't know if it's an act for content, for views, for attention, or if that's really how she is, but she doesn't come across to me as the normal you know, traditional Japanese person in terms of etiquette and the way that she carries herself. She carries herself very poorly. And that is what it is. You know, there's also other content of her on, you know, streams where she's saying she doesn't like black people. She's saying, you know, black people are scary and, you know, just all type of other stuff, man. So it's clear that whether it's genuine or she's doing it for content, she definitely has some type of grudge against black people. And it is what it is, man. There's racist people everywhere. There's people that don't like certain demographics and groups of people for whatever reason. In my time in Japan, I have definitely experienced and heard experiences of people, you know, dealing with racist situations. Like I had a friend who I used to teach with, and he told me that he was out with a black guy one time, and they were at some establishment, and some Japanese person that they ended up getting into it with just started dropping the N-word over and over and over, hard R's, just like, go back to Africa, get out of here, you in, and it's like I said, man, I don't know why people act so shocked. Like I feel like nowadays it's definitely a situation where people are, you know, showing how they feel more freely. You know, if they don't like people, you know, like the cancel culture, that's not something that really works, you know. And also you have people that feel the same way as these individuals that are going to support whatever they say, especially if it's going against a certain group of people. We know who those people are. Also, I ended up meeting a girl one time who told me she loved black people. You know what I mean? She dated black people. She really liked, you know, black culture, and, you know, she definitely appreciated, you know, black people. But she also told me in the same breath that her mom her dad, her sister hate black people, right? And you know, I was just like, wow, like it's like you appreciate it, but your parents hate black people. And she said, yeah, like they don't like black people at all. So anytime that she has like a black boyfriend or she talks to somebody black, they just, you know, they despise of them. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely experienced and heard, you know, from other people's perspective that, you know, they have dealt with racism in Japan. And like I said, it's not the norm. It's not everybody. This is definitely maybe isolated incidents, but I do gotta say, with everything happening in Japan now, with the over tourism, with more and more foreigners coming to Japan, immigration, like there is a lot of tension between Japanese and foreigners, and I'm starting to see it now. Even myself, I was in Yokosuka maybe like a few weeks ago, and I was walking, and you know, I'm going to the military base, and this is maybe like 8 in the morning, and some Japanese guy just walks up to me and just starts. I had headphones in, so I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he was just, I know he was saying something that wasn't positive. Just saying like, you know, whatever he said to me. But he had like the mean look on his face, and he was saying stuff, and I took the headphones out and I asked him, like, what would you say? And he just kept saying stuff and just walking away. So there's definitely like a certain level of tension that there is now between Japanese people and foreigners, and then you might actually have more negative experiences. Not always, but you might be more likely to have negative experiences because there's a lot of what they call it is foreigner fatigue or gaijin fatigue, because there's just a lot of foreigners that come to Japan, especially over in recent years, and just come and disrespect Japanese culture and, you know, don't follow the rules, and, you know, just, you know, people are like, you know, destroying Japanese, you know, artifacts and, you know, shrines and temples and just doing crazy things. So I definitely do think we may have more incidents like this where people are going to show and say how they really feel about foreigners, you know, especially with them trying to bring in more foreigners to kind of like populate the work culture or the workforce, because like a lot of jobs are like, you know, they're like understaffed because people don't want to do certain jobs. So now they're trying to bring in foreigners to fill those positions. So I feel like anytime that you have a large group of different, you know, nationalities, ethnicities, there's always room for people to clash. So I don't know. I feel like you can definitely feel the changes in Japan with everything that's going on. And I think we might see more incidents like this. Now, do I feel like Japanese people don't like black people? I wouldn't say that. But I will say that there are people that don't like certain types of people in Japan, and those people being Japanese. And I do feel like with the more foreigners that come to the country, we might end up seeing more incidents like this, you know? Nobody knows for sure, but we'll see, you know, as things progress in the future. But yeah, for this girl, Nanatty, absolutely disgusting, absolutely unacceptable. You know, if you want to be racist in your own bubble, but to bring that out and just to say that about all black people, like, one black person doesn't speak for all black people. You know what I mean? One rotten apple doesn't spoil the bunch. And I know in Japan, a lot of times they bunch Africans and African Americans all together. And I know a lot of times Africans in Japan get a bad rap too, because a lot of them working in Kabukicho or the red light district, where there's a lot of crime and illegal activities going on. Those people tend to be a lot more aggressive towards Japanese people, towards foreigners. And like, you'll see a lot of situations where Africans or Nigerians are getting arrested for doing illegal stuff. So, you know, I can understand sometimes like the misconception where you think, oh, this black person did this and these black people are in this area doing this, but that doesn't represent all black people. You know what I mean? That's a certain demographic. And I think some people are just ignorant where they don't understand that one black person is not the same as all black people. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think sometimes that the negative reputation that Africans have sometimes falls on all black people too. Lastly, for the black streamer that was disrespected in that manner, I think, man, you need to isolate yourself from that group of people that you were with too, because I think the guy's name is Ice Poseidon or something like that, bro. Like, when she was disrespecting you and calling you an N-word with the hard ER, all these people were laughing at you. They were making content. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and I think there's nothing funny about racism at all. You know, I don't care if you're disrespecting white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, black people, bro. Like, once that starts to happen, man, people need to put their foot down and step in. I would have, me personally, if I was the Ice Poseidon guy, I would have shut that down. I would have kicked her off the stream. Yo, you gotta go. Like, ain't nothing funny about being racist, you know. And all these people laughing, and you know, they getting they making a joke out of you, and you should have got out of there. There's nothing funny about being racist, and there's no type of content that should come out of that, in my opinion. Like, that's just, it's unacceptable.